Thank you, Moderator. This is Curtis Good, President of the Structural Pest Control Board. I'd like to welcome everybody to our board meeting. Susan, if you could provide a roll call, please.
Will do. So board members, Curtis Good.
Present.
Derek Devermont.
Yes, I'm here. Sorry, I was muted.
Kyle Finley.
Here.
And Nikki Capadilla.
Yes, I'm here.
Wonderful. So the record will show we do have 4 board members, and that constitutes quorum. Thank you very much, board members.
Thank you, Susan. At this time, I'd like to go ahead and welcome our newest board member, Nikki Capadilla. Nikki, I'm very sorry that your first meeting is in this virtual meeting, but hopefully in October we will be able to meet in person, and it'd be lovely meeting you. And I'm sure all the other board members are excited about meeting and seeing your presence at the board. We greatly appreciate your service. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the warm welcome. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Nikki. Okay, at this time, is there any public comments that are not on the agenda? And I will open this up after this portion of the board meeting later, but if there's any public comments not on the agenda.
This is the moderator, and at the direction of the board, I have opened the Q&A panel. For your reference, being displayed on the screen are instructions on how to request public comment. You simply click on the question mark within the square located in the lower right-hand portion of your screen and type, "I would like to make public comment." All comments will be addressed in the order they are received. You will be provided 5 minutes and given a 30-second warning. I will pause momentarily to allow individuals time to access this feature. At this time, it does not appear we've received any requests for public comment. Would you like me to close this feature?
Yes, moderator, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Feature has been closed.
Okay, I have to apologize. I'm so excited to welcome Nikki Capadilla to our board meeting. I skipped over the flag salute, so if everybody would, I do have a flag present. If you would, repeat after me the Pledge of Allegiance. So, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So very sorry about that. Okay, did our petitioner get online? Moderator?
Yes, he has. He's been promoted to panelist as well.
Okay, at this time, I will open up the petitions for reinstatement and turn over the meeting to our Honorable Judge Gavin. Your Honor, it's all yours.
Thank you, Mr. Good. Good morning, everyone. Do I have the petitioner present? Can you, Mr. I don't know how to pronounce your last name. Is it Sines? But can you just tell me that you can hear me?
Yes. Yes, I can.
Okay. What is the correct way to pronounce your last name, sir?
Signs. S-A-E-Z. Signs.
Thank you very much, sir. And then who is the Deputy Attorney General assigned to this matter? Is that person on the line?
Good morning, Your Honor. That would be me, Laura Petticini, Deputy Attorney General.
Good morning, Ms. Petticini. Your sound, your volume is very low. Can you, I don't know if it's proximity to the microphone issue or there's something that you can adjust, but if that's the volume for the balance of the hearing, I think we'll have trouble hearing you.
Okay, how is this? Is this any better?
I can tell you made an effort, but I don't know that it's necessarily going to be significantly better. I can make out what you're saying. I'll leave it to the court reporter to interrupt if she can't. Once we get the record. So before on the record, let me just explain a little bit about how the process will go today. This is mostly for you, Mr. Sines. in a moment, I'm going to go on the record. We'll have a court reporter who will be listening to everything that anyone says and typing it out. That's one of the harder jobs that there is today. So we need to do some things to try to make her job as easy as we can. First, we need to speak loudly enough, slowly enough, and one at a time enough that she can clearly make out who is speaking and what they're saying. Secondly, we need to communicate with words as opposed to non-word sounds like or Those things would communicate information, but would not be very clear in a written record. Finally, it may happen from time to time that the reporter interrupts because she did not clearly hear something and she needs some clarification. And if that happens, she's simply asking you to repeat what you said, not explain what you said. So if you were to use the name of some chemical, for example, and she interrupted and said, "I'm sorry, I didn't get that," you wouldn't explain what that chemical is used for. You would simply repeat the name of the chemical that you just said. Does that make sense, Mr. Sines?
Yes, sir.
With regard to the process that will follow today, once we go on the record, I'll need to call the case. I'll identify myself. I'll invite the parties to identify themselves. I'll then need each board member to identify themselves so we can establish a quorum on the record for this case. Once we've done that, I'll then turn it over to Ms. Petticini. She will present the petition packet as well as the accompanying documents. She'll give a brief overview of the license and disciplinary history, and she'll do that just simply to orient the board as to what this matter is about and what the previous license discipline was. Once she's done that, I'll turn it over to you, Mr. Sines, to present any evidence you'd like to present. Your evidence can come in the form of your own testimony, the testimony of third-party witnesses, or the presentation of additional documents that are not already included in your petition packet. Once you've had a chance to present all of your evidence, I'll turn it over to the board members as well as Ms. Petticini to ask you any questions they might have. I'll turn it over first to Ms. Petticini for cross-examination, and then I'll open it up to any board members who have questions. When you're being questioned by either Ms. Petticini or a board member, Mr. Sines, please just silently wait for the question to be posed in full before beginning your response, and that way we'll avoid any unnecessary crosstalk and also ensure that you fully understand the question before you give your answer. Any questions about that procedure, Mr. Sines?
Not at the time, sir.
Right. Do you have any additional third-party witnesses that you anticipate calling today?
No, I do not.
Do you have any additional documents that you anticipate introducing into evidence aside from what's already included in your petition packet? I didn't hear an answer, Mr. Sines. Have we lost you, Mr. Sines?
Hello? Yeah, sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, I don't have any documents to send over or to show the court.
Okay. That's fine. It's not necessary. I just wanted to make sure
Okay.
so that we can take care of that while we're off the record and not clutter up our record with those kinds of conversations. When it comes time for you to testify on your own behalf, you can simply testify in what we call the narrative format, which means you'll just explain in your own words what you think the board should know about when making the decision whether to reinstate your license. Please keep in mind that once your hearing is over, the board will then convene into a closed session that you will not be permitted to attend. The board will discuss your petition and direct me to craft a written decision, either granting or denying the petition. So you will not get an answer on your petition today. You'll have to wait until after the hearing, usually within 30 days, that decision will be issued. So you won't know right away what the decision on your petition is. Make sense?
Understand. Yes, sir.
All right. Ms. Petticini, anything you wanted to take up before we go on the record?
No, Your Honor, my only concern concern is the issue regarding the sound. While Your Honor was speaking, I looked at the computer options for the audio and turned everything up to 100%. Has that made a difference?
Frankly, not noticeably. However, I can hear you clearly, so we'll just need to make sure that that continues to be the case. And
I can't hear her very well. Sorry to interrupt.
Is that you, Ms. Berryhill?
Yes,
Okay. Are you? And you said you
I can barely hear her.
You can barely hear me? Okay. So one thing that I could do is try calling in using my phone instead of the computer audio. And I apologize, that will take minutes. But is it, Ms. Berryhill, is it something where you think you really won't be able to hear me sufficiently if we continue like this?
I can barely hear you, so yeah, it might help.
Okay, so I will disconnect then, and I see there's an option to call in using my phone audio. I will try that, okay?
You might be able to use both. I'm not sure.
please don't use both.
Okay.
If you stay signed in with your video, please ensure that your audio component of your computer is turned off so that you don't get feedback loop.
I'm sorry, make sure that the audio component is turned off. I'm clicking on something that says switch audio, which hoping will do the trick. I think I need to disconnect in order to call in.
Okay.
Okay. So that's what
We'll wait patiently.
Okay, again, I apologize. Thank you.
Yeah.
Just introduce yourself. Sorry.
I apologize to the board members for this minor, however, deal with these things at the outset. Try to manage them.
Did you want to do the minutes real quick while we're on a hold?
Sure, we can do that. If we have all the board members present, if we can, I'd like, if everybody's had a chance to review the board minutes and looking for approval and acceptance of that. Board members?
This is Kyle Finley. I'd like to approve the minutes.
Okay, perfect. Need a second?
I'm going to interrupt there. This is Sabina again. So the motion would be to approve the minutes of the March 9th, 2021 meeting.
Correct.
Thank you.
I would like to approve the minutes of the March 9th board member meeting.
Okay, is there any other comments? Or we need a second, don't we? I'll second it.
Thank you.
Okay, was there any other changes or comments?
And public comment?
Yeah. Is there any public comment to the board minutes? Moderator?
This is the moderator, and at the direction of the board, I have opened the Q&A panel. If you would like to request public comment, for your reference, being displayed on the screen are instructions. Once again, you will be provided 5 minutes and given a 30-second warning. All comments will be addressed in the order they are received. I will now pause momentarily to allow individuals time to access this feature. At this time, we have not received any requests for public comment. Would you like me to close this feature?
Yes, moderator, thank you.
You're very welcome. Feature has been closed.
Okay, at this time, I'd like to go ahead and have a vote for the approval for the minutes. Susan, can you handle that?
Yep. Curtis Good,
Yes?
Derek Devermont,
Yes.
Kyle Finley,
Yes.
and Nikki Capadia.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, board members. Did Laura Petticini get back on yet?
This is the moderator. I do not see her as of yet.
Curtis?
Hi, did that work?
Oh.
Is that you, Ms. Petticini?
Hi. Yes, this is Laura again. Can you hear me?
It sounds louder to me. Ms. Berryhill, is that adequate for you?
Yes, that's much better. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
terrific. Thank you. I apologize. I don't. I'm not sure what the problem is with the computer audio, but it seems like connecting it to my work phone did the job, hopefully. Thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you for doing that. All right, Mr. To interrupt your other members, are you ready to move back to the petition, or are there other things you wanted to take up first?
No, let's go back into the reinstatement hearing. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Sines, you're still with us, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. Any questions before we go on the record?
Not at the time, sir.
And Ms. Petticini, anything that you wanted to take up before we go on the record?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right. And Ms. Berryhill, are you ready to go on the record?
I am, thank you.
All right. Then we are on the record in the matter of the petition for reinstatement of Humberto Sines Jr.'s applicator's license, number R as in Romeo, A as in Alpha, 46669, branches 2 and 3. This matter is being heard before the Structural Pest Control Board. It is board case number 2013-14. My name is Sean Gavin. I'm the administrative law judge with the Office of Administrative Hearings, who's been assigned to preside over this matter. This is OAH case number 2021-060819. Can I take the appearances of the parties, starting with counsel?
Good morning, Your Honor. Laura Petticini, Deputy Attorney General. I'm appearing on behalf of the people of the state of California, and that is pursuant to Government Code Section 11522.
Thank you, Ms. Petticini. Mr. Sines, you are also joining us virtually without the assistance of an attorney. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes, sir. That is
All right.
correct.
I'd also like just to establish a quorum of the board, if I may. Mr. Good, are you present?
All right. Yes, I'm present.
Thank you. Mr. Divermont?
I am present.
Thank you. Mr. Finley?
Yes, I'm here.
And Ms. Capadilla? I think you may be muted, Ms. Capadilla.
Hello, I'm here.
Okay, thank you very much. Those members constitute a quorum of the board. Mr. Sines, before we went on the record, I explained briefly how the hearing will proceed. I'll summarize that explanation now so that your record is complete. In a moment, I'll turn the matter over to the Deputy Attorney General, Ms. Petticini, to present the petition packet to the board and provide a brief explanation of the license history and discipline. Once she has done that, we'll turn it over to you to present any evidence you'd like to present. You can testify on your own behalf. You can call third-party witnesses, and you can present additional documents. Once you have presented your evidence, Ms. Petticini and then the board members will have a chance to ask you questions that you will have to answer under oath. If you have any questions about the procedure during this process, please let me know, including if you have any questions presently.
Understand. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
All right, if you have no questions, then Ms. Petticini, I will turn it over to you.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would first like to mark for identification and offer into evidence Exhibit 1, which is the petition for reinstatement of revoked license packet with accompanying documents. It includes the following: the June 14th, 2021 correspondence from board staff to petitioner Humberto Saenz Jr., confirming petitioner's hearing date for today at 9:00 a.m. via WebEx and requesting confirmation of petitioner's intent to attend. Confirmation from petitioner that he will attend the hearing this morning. The March 22nd, 2021 letter from board staff to petitioner containing general information regarding guidelines for petitions for reinstatement. The March 16th, 2021 letter from board staff advising petitioner that his application for field representative license branch 3 could not be processed due to the status of his applicator's license number RA46669. Verification that petitioner passed the branch 3 field representative examination on December 7th, 2020, guidelines for petitions for reinstatement. The petition for reinstatement of revoked applicator's license number RA46669, branches 2 and 3, submitted by petitioner and signed and dated March 29th, 2021. Petitioner's declaration with petition for reinstatement of revoked license. The default decision and order concerning accusation number 2013-14, accusation number 2013-14, certification of Attorney General's costs for prosecution of accusation number 2013-14, and a certified license history for Mr. Saenz.
All right, Exhibit 1 is marked.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would now like to offer a summary of Mr. Saenz' license history with the board, specific to his applicator's license number RA46669 in branches 2 and 3. Mr. Saenz was first licensed in California on November 30th, 2006. On February 23rd, 2013, this board issued a disciplinary order in which Mr. Saenz' license was revoked. The basis for the revocation was as follows, and it concerns accusation number 2013-14, which is located at PTR 24. That's a base stamp at the bottom of the materials. On or about September 12th, 2012, accusation number 2013-14 was filed against Mr. Saenz' applicator's license number RA46669. On February 23rd, 2013, a default decision and order rendered in accusation number 2013-14 revoked his applicator's license. The accusation was based on one cause for discipline concerning a substantially related crime, and that is pursuant to Business and Professions Code Section 8649 and 490A. And the specific procedural history is that on or about September 16th, 2011, in a criminal proceeding entitled The People of the State of California versus Humberto Saenz in San Diego County Superior Court, case number CN 293-745, respondent was convicted of violating Penal Code Sections 484 and 490.5, petty theft of retail merchandise, a misdemeanor. The court placed Mr. Saenz on probation 36 months with terms and conditions. The circumstances surrounding the underlying conviction are that on March 11, 2011, Mr. Sines and a female who was pushing a baby stroller entered a Target store in Escondido, California. While in the store, Mr. Sines removed 2 flash drives valued at approximately $100 from their packaging and went on to conceal them. His female companion took a breast pump valued at approximately $40 off the shelf, and she placed it on the floor. Mr. Sines later placed the breast pump in their baby stroller. He then pushed the stroller and paid for other items at the cash register with a credit card, but he left the store without paying for the flash drives or the breast pump that he had intentionally concealed. I'm now prepared to proceed with questions for Mr. Sines, unless Mr. Sines wishes to make an opening statement first.
All right, thank you. Are you moving Exhibit 1 into evidence?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
Mr. Sines, do you object to the documents identified in Exhibit 1 being used as evidence in this case?
No, I do not object.
Exhibit 1 is admitted. And Ms. Petticini, what I typically like to do is to allow the petitioner to speak first and then be cross-examined, considering that the Deputy Attorney General role is not adversarial in this kind of case. So, Mr. Sines, what I'd like for you to do is raise your right hand so I can swear you in.
Okay.
Let me know when you've done so.
I've done so, sir.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that the testimony you'll give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right. As I said at the outset, now is an opportunity for you to explain to the board members what you think they should know when deciding whether to reinstate your license. You may do so when you're ready.
Okay, first of all, yes, my violation was for petty theft. That was a mistake I made back in 2011. You know, I was convicted that same year. I regret making that mistake. And the reason why is because that's not who I am. You know, I'm a hardworking man. I have a family, and you know, I'm terribly sorry for that. I wish I would never have done that. I'm human. Everybody makes mistakes, but of course, you know, this is something that did harm the public. You know, I don't do that anymore. It's been 10 years since that. You know, I haven't been convicted with anything else since then. My lesson was learned. I want to make, you know, it clear that I'm a family, hardworking man, and all I want is a second chance. And if you give me this chance, you know, you won't regret it. You know, I've been trying to.
Hearing me?
What was that?
Mr. Sines, this is ALJ Gavin. I'm sorry, there was a connectivity issue. I don't know if it was on your end or mine, but I missed some of your testimony. I'm sure the board members heard it. But to be sure, and to be sure that our court reporter heard it as well, can you repeat what you said? You said you regret your mistake, but you think you're only human. And then anything from there, can you please repeat?
Yes, humans. You know, I'm a human. Everybody makes a mistake every now and then, and this was a stupid, childish mistake, and I've learned from it. Now I'm facing this by, you know, now look where I'm at.
I'm sorry, I missed a few words there. Now I'm facing
the consequences, and that is being in court with you. And you know, my efforts, the effort that I put in is by staying clean and working hard. I'm a carpenter for a pest control company, the name of Fairway Pest Control. I haven't been able to touch any chemical, or I'm trying to be a field representative and get my license, and I did pass. I studied really hard, and now I'm trying as hard as I can to get licensed, and this is why I'm here today. I do want to say that I give back to the community, and not just my community, but for about 4 or 5 counties, which is San Bernardino, Riverside, LA, San Diego, and Orange County as well. I am the president, and I own a nonprofit youth bull riding association called Southern California Youth Bull Riders. I started this back 4 years ago, and I do it for free for kids for ages 3 to 19. I show them and teach them how to ride bulls. I rode bulls back in my young days, and now we have this association, and it's great. You know, this is my way of giving back to the community. Since I'm a family man, you know, I have a lot of people behind me that support me, and I support the kids. So I just wanted to put that in there. You know, I'm just asking for a second chance. I'm a changed man. I don't do that. It was a childish mistake, and I really, really hope you guys, you know, give me this opportunity to reinstate my license. I would. That's all I hope for. I'm terribly sorry. I did neglect the court back in 2000. Sorry, I forget the date when you guys were asking me to go to court. I neglected it, and that was another mistake I'd made, and I'm terribly sorry for that. And this is why I'm here today, just to ask for another opportunity. And if you do, I promise you won't regret it. I know I have a lot of knowledge in the construction part, and I can be big help to the industry. You know, all I want to do is help customers and make the structural pest side of the industry a better industry. That's all I got to say. Once again, I'm sorry.
All right, thank you, Mr. Sines. Ms. Petticini, if you have any cross-examination, you may proceed when you're ready.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Sines, I just wanted, for the benefit, as an introduction to the questions I'm going to ask you, and there are just a few of them, I want to clarify that the purpose of today's hearing is to assess your rehabilitation, and that, you know, your rehabilitation from the conduct that is now about 10 years ago. So it's to assess honesty, integrity, character, and other aspects of which are related to your duties and obligations in your role as a licensee. We aren't here to relitigate the past. We're here to determine your current ability and fitness to practice and to resume your work. So as the ALJ pointed out, this is not an adversarial proceeding. The questions I'm going to be asking you are related to your rehabilitation since this incident at least 10 years ago. You indicated in your introduction and also on page 12 of your petition that you are no longer on criminal probation and have not been convicted of any other criminal violations. Can you describe any community service you were directed to complete while you were on probation?
I wasn't put on any community service or anything like that. I paid a fine of $700 and I believe $60 or $80. And I just stayed clean off of that. I've never ever intended of stealing or taking what's not mine. I stayed clean, and that's what I've done. I wasn't offered that through the courts. They just told me to pay the fine, and I was put on probation, but that was it.
Okay, and you successfully completed your probation, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you paid your full fine?
Yes, ma'am. I did pay the full fine.
Okay, and in your employment with Fairway Termite, where you're a construction worker, have you been the subject of any kind of disciplinary actions with your employer?
No, ma'am, not at all. I've stayed clean. It's never been an issue. I do just the construction part, which is carpentry. It's remove and replace or repair wood in the exterior of home.
Okay, good. And just to clarify, there are no criminal convictions that the board is unaware of that are part of your history. Is that correct? Other than the incident in 2011?
That is correct.
Are there any current criminal charges pending against you in another state?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Since your license was revoked, have you taken any courses or participated in any trainings or continuing education to keep yourself knowledgeable regarding the Structural Pest Control Board and work related to the work you did previously and would like to do again?
The last time was back in October and November of 2020. My boss, my employee, asked me to try and get my field representative license. So I studied hard for that, thinking that I could have gotten it, but I was ignoring this matter that, which we were speaking of today. And that is about it. I do have a lot of knowledge of, what wood is being infested by termites or subterraneans or dry wood or dry rot. That is where I have a lot of knowledge. I mean, I have a really good eye. I know how to repair, and this is why he asked me to study hard for the test and try and pass it, which I did. But that's the only study material I've done.
Okay. What are your plans should the board elect to reinstate your applicator's license?
I'm sorry?
What are your plans for the future if your applicator's license is reinstated and your petition is successful today?
That my plans are just to better myself, better my family, and better the industry as well. I really love doing my work. It's something I appreciate. So my plans is just to make the industry better. If there's somebody that has the knowledge like me with wood destroying pests, I can make the industry better, not just the industry, but myself and the company I work for. That's my plan. That's my future, and it's going to better my family. That's what it all means to me. I just want to better everybody around me.
Okay, thank you. So your plan then, it sounds like too, is to continue working for your current employer. Is that right?
That is correct, ma'am.
And if the board were to reinstate your license and also require you to take some additional classes or put some other restrictions on your license, would you be open to that?
I will definitely be open to that.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. I don't have any other questions, but is there anything else that I addressed that gives you a reason to want to provide further follow-up to the board for its consideration?
I'm open to anything, ma'am. I really just need to get this license so I can better myself and my family. At the time, I don't know what to say. I'm here today to just try and get my license reinstated. And if it takes anything like classes or anything that's gonna help me get that license, I will do so.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And Your Honor, that concludes the information that I have to provide at this time. I would only follow up with the fact that the burden of proof in this matter is on the petitioner, and it is a clear and convincing evidence burden of proof. That's the standard. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ms. Petticini. At this time, I'll turn it over to any board members who have questions. And forgive me, if we were in person, I would just kind of look around and see if people had their hands raised. But given that we're doing this virtually, I'll just call on folks. If you have questions, you can ask. Otherwise, just let me know you don't have it. I'll start with you, Mr. Good.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. Yes, Mr. Sines, congratulations on your nonprofit organizations. That's very comforting to hear that. But in your packet, they sent you a packet with, you know, a lot of advice and information there. So you, at this time, you have not completed any other community service. I know that wasn't part of your probation, but do you work with a church group or anything like that?
Not at the time. I raised money for the association, and that's about it. I focus most of my time every Thursday from early spring to late fall. It's every Thursday practice. So I have about 3 to 4 hours starting from 5 to about 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night every Thursday. That's my life right now. I give it all to the kids, and then we have an event every Saturday, but not at the time. I do go to church every now and then. I'm not gonna lie and say I do go to church every Sunday. I do it when I have time and I'm not doing anything with the kids. But no, that is about it. That's how I give back to the community, and I mean it takes a lot. So no, I guess not to any church, sir.
Okay, very good. Well, Fairway, you've been employed with them since its inception, so you've been there, what, 10 years, correct?
I believe, yeah, 9, 10. I'm sorry, I'm really bad with my memory. I've been knocked out a bunch of times when I rode bulls, and I can't remember dates like that. But yeah, I've been with them for a long time, and you know, I've been in the carpentry, and I'm kind of getting tired of swinging a hammer. You know, every day. I'm 40 years old, and this is why I'm trying to be a field representative.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you not think of going to your employer and having them write, you know, a letter of recommendation for you for this hearing?
I did, but at the time my boss was out in not in town. I think he's on vacation, so I couldn't. When I wanted to, I asked him, and then he said yes, sir, of course, and then I just totally forgot about it, and then he left town. So but I can get that to you if you give me the opportunity. I can email you that letter if you can write it up and give it to you, have it provided to you guys.
That would be encouraging if you could. You know, you have the contact through Melissa Roberts, so if you could maybe have him write something up, just kind of vouching, that might help your case a little bit. But I do appreciate it. And your nonprofit, very good organization. I know you're putting in a lot of time, and sounds like you really kind of straightened yourself out and taken ownership for what occurred 12, 14 years ago. So I have nothing else, Your Honor. Thank you very much, and thank you, Mr. Sines.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Good. Mr. DeVermont, any questions for the petitioner?
No, I have no questions. I'm more than satisfied. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Mr. Finley, any questions for the petitioner?
Yeah, you kind of answered it. How will your role change with the with Fairway Pest Control upon getting the license if it was reinstated? You're going from carpentry to, are you going to be a termite inspector? How's your role change?
My role will change, yes, as a termite inspector and as a, you know, going on job sites and making sure everything's right. I have a lot of experience in that type of work, which is carpentry. So, you know, I got a really good eye for for any wood destroying pests. And yeah, I will definitely change. I will be an inspector, a termite inspector, and that will help my future, help my family, and it'll help me, it'll help the industry and my employer as well. So that's how it change.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. Are you going to be a termite inspector upon getting, if you get reinstated, or are you staying on the crew and just having the license to help out in other situations?
It would be both. I'm still kind of young. I mean, I'm not that tired of swinging the hammer. I mean, if they need me to swing a hammer, I will. But yes, definitely termite inspector, and still keep on the crews when they need me.
Awesome. Thank you. That's it from me.
All right, thank you, Mr. Finley. Ms. Capadilla, any questions for the petitioner?
No, not at this time.
All right, thank you. Mr. Sines, anything else you'd like to add on your own behalf?
I'm just terribly sorry. This was really, really childish of me, and I know that's not enough to the public, and for the state of California, I know that's sometimes not enough. But I'm a changed man, and I really appreciate if you give me this opportunity. That's it. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Ms. Petticini, I know it's not adversarial, but are there any closing remarks you'd like to make?
No, Your Honor, only that given that we are here to consider petitioner's level of taking responsibility and also rehabilitation generally, it does appear that he's testified about the incident 10 years ago in such a way that suggests that he's not blaming someone else, but is stepping up and owning his actions. And while it is true that he hasn't done any community service and isn't presenting himself as someone who has a affiliation to any other specific organizations as asked about, it's also clear that he has made a contribution to society through the nonprofit he spoke of. I do think it would be worthwhile for the board to consider accepting a letter of recommendation from his current employer, given that they've been together now for at least 10 years. And taken as a whole, I think that certainly sufficient evidence has been presented to give the board a clear picture of the factors that need to be considered in determining what the appropriate next step would be. So with that said, I would just once again reinforce the fact that this matter is brought by petitioner, the burden is on petitioner, and it's now in the board's hands to determine whether or not he has presented clear and convincing evidence of rehabilitation. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ms. Petticini. Mr. Sines, would you like to make any closing remarks?
At the time, no, sir.
All right. I will defer to the board's legal counsel, Ms. Sabina Knight, on this. If this were being heard before me as an ALJ sitting on behalf of the board, I could easily hold the record open and allow petitioner to submit additional evidence from his employer. However, in this matter, because this is being heard by the board in a noticed hearing, although a closed session, the board will, as soon as this matter is closed, convene in closed session. If the board wants to consider any supplemental information, it may have to delay deliberation in this matter until the next time that the board meets, either in a regular session or a closed session. So as I said, I will defer to Ms. Knight I don't want to be in a position of giving the board any legal advice as to what they should do, but I do want to clarify that procedurally, it may be a matter of proceeding today without that additional information or receiving that additional information from petitioner's employer and delaying deliberations so that that additional information can be considered. Ms. Knight, before I close the hearing, do you want to weigh in on that?
Yes, I usually suggest to our board members that they typically like to move forward with deliberating and making their decision today. I'll defer to Mr. Good, but I'm assuming they would like to do that like they normally do. They would like to enter into closed session and meet with you and have you assist in drafting their response. And if Mr. Good believes that that letter has a large amount of weight, then we can definitely discuss delaying, but usually the board likes to make their decision timely and today.
All right. I suppose what we should do then is allow the board members to discuss their options as part of the closed session. Get some legal advice from you on that and render a decision either way on that. So with that said, then I'm prepared to close the hearing. Whether the matter is, and by that, are you satisfied you've had a full opportunity to present all evidence and make all arguments on your behalf? Ms. Petticini, is the matter submitted?
Yes, it is, Your Honor. Thank you.
Mr. Sines, is the matter submitted?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor.
All right, then the matter is submitted. The case is closed and we are off the record.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank
Ms.
you.
Berryhill, thank you, Mr. Sines. Ms. Berryhill, I will need from you the time of completion and estimated number of pages.
Okay, I've got 10 a.m. exactly and 40 pages.
All right, and then did you need any spellings from Mr. Sines?
Miss Curtis's full name? I don't know if it's that his last name or it just says Curtis on your
Good.
G-O-O-D-I-D-E?
No E, G-O-O-D.
Okay, thank you. That's it. That's all I need, I think. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Ms. Berryhill.
Have a nice day, everyone.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Good, I will turn the meeting reins back over to you then. If you need to do any other board matters or call this into a closed session, I will mute myself and allow you to take over.
Yes, if we can at this time. Thank you, Your Honor. If we can move the meeting into closed session, and then if the moderator would take down everybody else and just put the principal people in for closed session, I appreciate it.
This is the moderator. I'm going to pause the recording now and start the expelling process.
Okay, everyone, thank you very much. I'd like to go ahead and call our meeting back to order. In the event that people weren't here when we initially opened, I will open up item number 3 for public comments not on the agenda. If anybody just came on, one last chance to comment on anything not on the agenda. Moderator.
This is the moderator, and at the direction of the board, I have opened the Q&A panel. If you would like to request public comment for your reference being displayed on the screen, our instructions to do so. All public commenters will be provided 5 minutes and given a 30-second warning. I will take all requests in the order they are received. I will now pause momentarily to allow individuals time to access this feature. At this time, it does not appear we've received any requests for public comment. Would you like me to close this feature?
Yes, please. Thank you very much, moderator.
You're welcome. Feature has been closed.
Okay, at this time, we're moving on to Department of Pesticide Regulation for an update. Do we have Peggy on the line or non?
Peggy is on the line, Curtis.
Okay.
Moderator, can you move Peggy Byerly to a panelist and check her mic, please?
It has been done. Peggy, if you could please unmute your microphone and conduct a microphone check.
Okay, hello, this is Peggy Byerly, Department of Pesticide Regulation. How's my audio, please?
Loud and clear.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Glad to be here as always. I would like to start with some executive position changes at DPR since the last board meeting. Sad to say our DPR director, Mr. Val Dolcini, and our Chief Deputy Director, Jesse Cuevas, have both left DPR, moved on to other positions. On July 5th, our Cal EPA Secretary Blumenfeld designated Julie Henderson as the acting DPR director. Ms. Henderson has been Cal EPA's Deputy Secretary for Health and Public Policy since November 2017. She has worked closely with our former Director Dolcini on sustainable pest management initiatives and other program issues such as those related to environmental justice. Previously, Ms. Henderson was also a senior advisor to Governor Brown. For our Chief Deputy Director, Dr. Karen Morrison is now designated as Acting Chief Deputy Director for DPR. Dr. Morrison, in 2018, she joined us. She has been serving as one of our assistant directors and a chief science advisor at DPR. Prior to DPR, Dr. Morrison held positions with the Cal Senate Environmental Quality Committee, analyzing legislation, organizing legislative oversight, and also as a science advisor with Cal Recycle. I will be emailing Mr. Skelton these names and titles after this meeting so that there's no confusion for the minutes. My next update is a short one on the DPR sulfuryl fluoride bystander residential update. Since the beginning of 2021, there was a scoping memo that DPR has posted to its website. And again, I will email this link as part of my update to Mr. Skelton for the minutes afterward. Most of the work since the beginning of this year for DPR internally on California-specific sulfuryl fluoride has shifted over to our environmental monitoring branch, where they are in the process of doing computer modeling work to see what level of additional residential bystander mitigation might be necessary to meet the new range of reference concentrations generated by our human health assessment branch in the risk characterization update, meaning the levels between 0.25 and 0.75 ppm. So the scoping memo will be, the link will be given so that if anyone would want to go ahead and refresh their memory with that after this meeting, it will be available and also in the minutes. Next update is regarding federal US EPA's sulfuryl fluoride mitigation, the docket that was posted at the end of May. Some of you are already aware about this. They're calling it their draft interim sulfuryl fluoride mitigation proposals, predominantly major label changes and related items regarding residential fumigations to lessen exposure. Several DPR branches are in the process of reviewing the federal EPA risk assessments in this docket and these draft interim mitigation proposals. We plan to compare notes soon between the branches internally to determine what comments, if any, we want to formally submit. Also, a few days ago, EPA posted that their comment period was extended from the original 60 days, July 26 deadline, to a new public comment docket deadline of September 23rd. My final update, the ASPCRO sent a short survey to the states and lead agencies regarding EPA's draft interim proposed mitigation for sulfurofluoride. So the short survey was 6 questions talking about any surveys of industry or any information that the states had about which and how many sulfurofluoride clearance devices were currently being used in their state for residential fumes. Also, whether the states were planning on doing some kind of work group and reviewing the proposals, and whether there were any EPA proposals in this docket of concern to that state. ASPCRO was very clear, though, that this survey was not meant to be in lieu of that state or agencies providing its own comments, but ASPCRO does plan to compile the survey information. DPR did the survey last week. So if there are any questions, that is the end of my updates for DPR. Thank you.
Okay, this is Curtis. Peggy, thank you so much for that. I do wish to apologize to the other board members. I just got wind of this probably just less than a week ago. I think we should get on these websites, and as a board, I think we do have a responsibility to review these, and if we need to as a board to make any comments. So Peggy, thank you very much. Does any other board members have any comments or questions for Peggy?
No, I'm good. Thank you so much, Peggy.
Okay. Any staff members have any comments or thoughts? Okay, I'll open it up to the public. Moderator, if you can open it up to the public if they have any comments.
This is the moderator, and at the direction of the board, I have opened the Q&A panel. If you would like to request public comment for your reference being displayed on the screen, our instructions, simply click on the question mark within the square located in the lower right-hand portion of your screen and type, "I would like to make a comment." Once again, you will be provided 5 minutes, given a 30-second warning. I will pause momentarily to allow individuals time to access this feature. At this time, it does not appear we have received any requests. Would you like me to close this feature?
Yes, moderator. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Feature has been closed.
Thank you all.
Okay, thank you, Peggy. I appreciate it very much. And again, board members, if you would take a moment, try to go onto these websites once they're published, and if you could review that. And then if we need to call for emergency meeting, if we feel it's necessary to make any public comments, I appreciate it. So, okay, if there's no other final comments from any board members, we'll move on. Okay, hearing none. Okay, we'll go to the executive officer report. Susan, are you available, please?
Yep, I'm here, Curtis.
Thank you, Susan.
Okay, so there's quite a few items in your board packages for the EO report today. The first couple items you'll find are your licensing examination and WDO statistics. The next documents are fund conditions for our 3 funds. Fund conditions are not something that I would have normally put in every board package, but based on a recommendation from the director's office, fund conditions will be in each board meeting material packet going forward. If you have any questions on those items, maybe I should pause right now and give you a moment to make comments or questions on those items before I continue.
Susan, the only comment I have is that on the passing rates, they seem to be creeping up a little bit higher. If you wanted to comment on the passing rates for a moment.
Sure. They are a little high. I'm not concerned. I honestly think that is the result of Office of Professional Examination Services, our contact person, Ganesh, and his diligence on reviewing examination questions and pulling back questions and putting them back into the rotation to be reworked at future workshops by subject matter experts.
Okay, thank you, board members.
I mean, all I was gonna say is you're just talking about operators, right? I mean, everything else looks same year over year. Is there a number we like to see it at?
Go ahead, Susan.
Well, at 75% for the OPRs, I think that's a little high. But again, what is the perfect number? I don't think that you can quantify that.
And I agree, and because I'm new, I didn't know if there was like a, hey, as soon as it gets over 65% passing rate, we address it to see it's too easy or something. I didn't know what that answer was. So that was the only one that looked like it was up year over year was the operators though, correct?
Yes. I will make one other comment for these first few items that are in the board package. In regards to the fund conditions, I don't have any concerns. The only thing that I wanted to point out to you is the third fund condition that's in your board packages is for the research fund. And if you look on, well, I'm looking at an actual board package, but the last page of that fund condition for the research shows an approximate value of $671,000 in that fund for reserves right now. But I wanted to point out that we currently have 4 research contracts that are still in place, and the outstanding funds that is dedicated to those 4 contracts right now is $675,000. So in reality, there is no money available in the research fund right now to even consider going out for a new research proposal request. So I just want to identify that for you.
Thank you, Susan. Yes. Excellent
Okay.
point.
So survey results are next. I don't think you have any questions in regards to that matter. Examination development, there is no material in the board packages. That's just an ongoing effort. Last year, during the heat of the pandemic, of course, we had to delay subject matter experts meeting in Sacramento to review examination material. We have a target now to start those subject matter workshops up again in August this year. Any comments, questions?
Yeah, that's very good. I'm glad to hear that we can keep updating our test examination. So that's really good to hear. The only thing I would suggest is maybe moving it back a little bit. Just industry in August is still very, very busy. So maybe pushing that back into get some dates in November or even January.
Okay, Curtis, so you'd like to see it pushed back to November, December?
Yeah, typically in August, it's companies, I think you're going to have a little harder time getting participants at that time of the year. I mean, you could try and just see how you do, but typically that's going to be, they're still very, very busy at that time.
Okay, noted. We'll get a hold of Office of Professional Examination Services and have those dates pushed back. I appreciate you bringing that to our attention. The next item is item number D, as in David. Review and possible approval of board member procedure manual. It wasn't, we weren't made aware until just recently that while the department does board member orientation training, which is very in-depth on the duties of a board member, we didn't realize until just recently that we should have one specific to the Structural Pest Control Board. You 4 have completed the board member orientation training. Again, the department only puts that on every few months. So we created, well, with the help of Christina and several hours from Sabina, we put together this board member procedure manual that I think will be very beneficial to new board members coming on in the future. Something that we can get out to that member right away within the first couple of weeks of being appointed. And then the executive officer can go over the material with them to kind of help them onboarding with the onboarding process. So if you're happy with this document, we are looking for approval to adopt this. I would like to note, though, that approval and motion should come in the form that you're authorizing the executive officer to make changes to that document in the future, should changes be needed. And then if that does happen today, then we will get this out to the department's Office of Design and Printing and have a few copies made. And I'll provide a hard copy to each of you, and then we'll have some available for future new board members.
Susan, I would like to comment. I did read through it, and I think it was an exceptional job. You did congratulate your committee and your individuals who worked on it. It was outstanding. And I think moving forward, this will be a very, very useful tool for any new board members coming on. Yeah, I think this is an outstanding job. So I'm totally in support of it.
Like I said, it was a lot of hours of Christina and Sabina.
Excellent job.
This
Any other
is
board members?
Sabina. Oh,
Yes, go ahead, Sabina.
sorry. I was just going to remind you, like Susan already mentioned, the motion, should you choose to adopt this today, should include some delegation to the executive officer to update it based on any law changes or policy changes from DCA. We would never update any board policy without your approval. However, laws might change. There's a couple pending laws right now about meetings and that kind of stuff that we'll just have to update if things change and as things change. But that's what the delegation is about. That way we don't have to keep coming back to you every time we need to make a change.
Perfect. Thank you. Board member comments or questions?
No, it looks great. I would love to have a hard copy of it, and that would have been really nice to have being new. So thank you guys so much for putting that together.
Derek, do you have any comments?
I do not. Sounds good.
Okay. Oh, excellent. Ms. Capadilla, do you have any comments regarding this? I know you're a board member and you may have had a chance to review this.
Yes, I did review it, and I think it's very informative and beneficial to a new board member. If it had come before the orientation, it would have been helpful, but I've gone through the orientation and read this, and I think it will be a great tool for a new board member, a great guide to get on the right start. So yeah, I think it's very beneficial and should be, I would love to have a hard copy once you guys approve and have it printed.
Okay, excellent. Thank you for your comments. At this time, moderator, I'll open it up to the public if they have any comments regarding this matter.
This is the moderator, and at the direction of the board, I have opened the Q&A panel. If you would like to request public comment, for your reference, being displayed on the screen are instructions. I'll pause momentarily to allow individuals time to access this feature. At this time, we have not received any requests for public comment. Would you like me to close this feature?
Yes, thank you, moderator. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Feature's been closed.
Okay, at this time, I would like to go ahead and make a motion that we adopt this and that the staff, anytime they feel fit, can update this as needed with any new current information.
I will second that.
Okay, any further discussion?
Kyle, that was you, correct?
Yes, sorry.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other comments by board members? Okay, hearing none. Okay, at this time, Susan, do you want to have a roll vote on this?
Yes, sir. Curtis Good,
Yes.
Derek Devermont,
Yes.
Kyle Finley,
Yes.
and Nikki Capadia.
Yes.
Great, thank you very much. That's our 4 members, so that is adopted. As I
Okay.
indicated, we will get this to print and get some hard copies made. We'll provide a hard copy to each of you board members, along with Rana and Janet, and then we'll have a few on hand for future new board members. Thank you very much for adopting.
Thank you for all your hard work. Excellent piece.
Thank you, Curtis. The next item on my report is item E as in Edward. And that's a status update on the production and publication of a 2021 SPCB New Act book. Dave has been working the last couple of months along with Christina and Holly diligently. And if we were in person, I would be showing you a copy of the new 2021 Act book. We just got a draft of that from Department of Consumer Affairs Design and Printing Office, Dave, yesterday, Tuesday.
They delivered them yesterday.
So we just got a draft of that delivered yesterday. We will get it to review one more time, and then we'll get it over and approve them to do the printing. Then we'll be having that printed. The plan is that we will be sending a few things are going on. Christina came up with a pre-order notification. So we're going to send a pre-order notification out to all PRs and all BRs and see if they want to pre-order a number of these for all of the branch offices at the cost of $10 per book. We are also going to be providing one copy free of charge to all PRs. We will also be providing copies to the 5 Attorney General offices in California, and several copies to CAC offices and several copies to DPR. We also plan to do a mass email to our e-list serve, which we have about 15,000 people on, to see if they would like to pre-order copies as well.
And Susan, it will be available on the website as well to download there, correct? At no charge?
Oh, yes, of course. I'm sorry. That slipped my mind. But yes, it will be available on our website to download at no cost.
Thank you.
I'll go on to item number F now, as in Frank. Review of the 2014 strategic plan and preparation for 2020 strategic plan. So in your board packages is our strategic plan from 2014 that did expire. This was on our radar. We knew that it was coming up, that it was going to be expiring. We delayed at one point because we were concerned that we would have several new board members at one time that would be unfamiliar with processes and procedures and things of that nature. Then, of course, COVID hit, so that delayed us again. So staff and I have started working with the department's training group. That's solid. So shortly we'll be starting that process with sending out surveys to stakeholders, board members, industry, etc. And then at some point, Solid will be doing phone interviews with each of you individually and getting more feedback and more additional upcoming meetings so that we can have a 2022 strategic plan in place.
Okay, excellent. Any comments? Okay.
Okay, then I'll go on to item number G as in George. Discussion on SPCB's 2022 Sunset Review. For the new board members, to give you a little background information, the programs within DCA, I believe all of the programs, well, Sabrina, you can probably correct me. At least several of the programs within Department of Consumer Affairs have a sunset date. And for us, that is Business and Professions Code Section 8520. If you will look up 8520, you'll see in there that it indicates that our sunset date is January 1st, 2023. So what that means is every 4 to 5 years, the Structural Pest Control Board has to prepare a package identifying all our processes for the past 4 or 5 years, and we have to present that information to the legislature, and then working with Business and Professions Code staff at the legislature, there will be a bill that is presented, and that bill will be to extend our sunset dates. During that sunset process, the Assembly and the Senate may come up with any number of items that they would like to see us discuss further, or questions they have, and that's just something that we'll work through next year. But I wanted to give you just some background information. If you'd like to look at our current sunset report, it is on the board's website. Well, the last several are on the board's website. If you wanted to just preview some of those documents to see kind of what it consists of course, you're welcome to do that. And then the only thing else I wanted to mention is that our fumigation, we have a fumigation and enforcement group. That fumigation and enforcement group is under section 8698.6. That fumigation enforcement program is 4 counties within California that are committed to the fumigation enforcement program, and that would be LA, Orange, San Diego, and Santa Clara. That program also has a sunset date. That section of our law is 8698.6, if you'd like to reference it. The sunset date for that program is also 1/1/2023. I've reached out to Chris Reardon. Chris, I know you were on the line earlier. I reached out to Chris Reardon, also reached out to John Sansone of the Fumigation Enforcement Program. And of course, they do have that date on their radar as well. And they're very much aware that a bill will be needed to extend that program as well. And then that's everything I have on my EO report. So if you have questions or comments.
Very thorough. Thank you, Susan. Board members, you have any comments?
No, thank you so much.
Okay, seeing no others. Moderator, if we can open up to the public, if they have any comments for Susan.
This is the moderator, and at the direction of the board, I have opened the Q&A panel. If you would like to request public comment for your reference being displayed on the screen are instructions to do so. You will be provided 5 minutes and given a 30-second warning. With that, I will pause momentarily to allow individuals time to access this feature. At this time, we've not received any requests for public comment. Would you like me to close this feature?
Yes, thank you, moderator. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Feature has been closed.
Okay, Susan, any other final comments there?
No, I don't have anything else, Chris, for the EO report.
Okay. Moving on to the next item is a discussion of possible action regarding the Structural Pest Control Board compliance with the Environmental Protection Agency and pesticide applicator regulations. Susan, who's handling that?
Dave, do you want to give an update? We're pretty much just in a hold pattern at this point, board members, but.
Yes, that's right. We submitted our implementation timeline, and it's being reviewed now. So we're just waiting to hear back on that being approved and go from there.
Okay, board members, any comments? Questions? Okay, moderator, if you can open up to the public if they have any wish to comment on that.
This is the moderator, and at the board's direction, I have opened up the Q&A panel. If you would like to request public comment, for your reference, being displayed on the screen are instructions on how to request public comment. You will be provided 5 minutes and given a 30-second warning. I will pause momentarily to allow individuals time to access this feature. At this time, we have not received any requests for public comment. Would you like me to close this feature?
Yes, moderator, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Feature's been closed.
Okay. Okay, moving on, discussion and possible action regarding the sale of installation of insulation with pesticidal properties. I'd like to open up comment on that. First, well, actually, it's a little broader than that, this subject matter. I have concerns about the industry. That's the branch threes that are upselling insulation. And then, of course, we have pest control companies marketing insulation. And then, of course, then we have, relationships with branch twos regarding for bird and rodent infestations in attics and having relationships and subcontracting with a C2. I think I just will make an announcement that on this, that I will be appointing a committee. And what I just covered there, I would like that committee to be looking at all those items so we can come back with that committee's report. And the committee, we also be working with legal and hopefully getting somebody from the CSLB to also serve on this committee so we have full representation and we can come back with, proper and thorough advice for the industry. I know it's a very confusing area right now, and it's very confusing for our board and their staff to regulate this. So probably within the next few weeks, I will be announcing my committee to take up this agenda. I will open this to the board if anybody has any comments to me regarding this at this time. Board members. Okay, seeing that. I'm not going to really open this up to the floor because I don't have all the answers, and that's why I will be appointing a committee, and that appointment will be made very shortly. So thank you. Sabrina, did you want to weigh in on that?
No, I was just nodding along with agreement. I've already reached out and asked CSLB to see if they can locate the best person to assist on your task force. So I'll be in touch when I receive that information, and they're happy to work together.
Okay, excellent. Thank you so much, Sabrina. I appreciate that. Thank you. Okay, can we get a moving on item, regulation status update on 1970.4 and all those? I think, Dave, you're handling that.
Curtis, we skipped number 13.
Oh, did I miss one? Oh, yes, very sorry. Okay, an update on status on the research proposals. Yes, I have a big packet on that. Selected for the funding. So yes, Susan, would you like to handle that item, please?
I will, thank you. So in your board package, you've seen this, well, Nikki, this is the first time you see it, but
Yes.
the others, this is something that you'll see in your board packages for every board meeting, and it shows our current progress on our research contracts that we have in place right now. We did have 5 research contracts. The first one, you can note, it is finished. That one was completed. Dr. Coe gave an update at the March board meeting on his research, and that one has been finished. The next 4 are still in the works. All of the researchers have asked for extensions on their projects due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Those extensions have been granted by myself. That is something within my authority to approve. Something that is, let me also note that the column to the far right gives you the amount of the contract that is still outstanding and committed to those researchers. So what I was mentioning earlier during the EO report and fund conditions, if you add up those balances that are still remaining, there is a commitment right now to those 4 researchers at the amount of $675,000. Then the last document that is in this package is Dr.
Elizabeth
I want to
Cash?
say it's Titsui, right? Hang on, bear with me for 1 second. Yes, Dr.
Yeah,
Neil.
that he's going to have a
Dr. Neil Titsui is replacing one of his researchers. According to the research proposal that was sent out, that is something that I do not have the authority to approve. So in your board packages is the resume of his new researcher. So if you are in approval, then we're looking for a motion to allow him to replace his researcher with this new individual.
Susan, this is Sabina. Unfortunately, this agenda item only has an update on the status and not action. I'd have to go back and see, maybe was that authority delegated prior? I don't know. I'd have to go back and research a couple years ago.
Right. I'm not sure. Christina's on the line. Hold on 1 second. Oh, Christina just walked in my office. She believes what we have done in the past is an email blast to the board members with the resume asking for approval.
Okay, I'll take a look at that offline. Let's regroup on this, and then we'll get back in touch with the board members. We'll find a way.
Okay, Sabina, thank you very much.
okay. Okay, thank you, Susan. Do you have any other to share with the board members regarding the research?
I do not, unless they have comments or questions for me, or comments or questions from the public. Curtis, thank you.
I'll open it up to the board members.
Just a question on how it works as a new board member, how that works. You're talking about the resume of the Elizabeth, I believe. So if we fund somebody on a research project and they are changing anything, they have to get it approved by us. What were we talking about there?
Yes, Kyle. In a nutshell, when we go out to do a bid to researchers for requests for proposals, that request for proposal package is the language contained within there identifies exactly who can authorize what. So in this case, like I said, I have the authority to approve extensions, but I do not have the authority to approve a staff replacement. So that's something that would be looking for to you board members to approve.
Okay, thank you.
I'd also like to recognize the industry and their hard work and their contributions to this to generate this fund. This whole idea and concept came from PCOC, and I'd like to again thank them. And what this enables us as a board to do on behalf of the industry is very exciting. And I look forward to seeing these researchers complete their tasks and finish them up. You know, obviously there was a huge delay with COVID, so some really exciting stuff coming on here, and I'll open it up right now to the public. Moderator, if you can open it up to the public for any comments.
This is the moderator, and at the direction of the board, I have opened the Q&A panel. If you would like to request public comment, please follow the instructions currently being displayed on your screen. All comments will be addressed in the order they are received. You will be provided 5 minutes and given a 30-second warning. I will pause momentarily to allow individuals time to access this feature.
Thank you, moderator.
At this time, we have not received any requests for public comment. Would you like me to close this feature?
Yes, thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Feature has been closed.
Okay, thank you. We'll get back to you on that, everyone. We'll let you know what's going on with that to make sure we get this handled so we can move forward with this. Okay, moving on. Dave, if you can handle the 1970s for us, I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. So this was the language that the board approved at the last meeting that came out of committee, directed me to go ahead with the implementation of this. So I've submitted it to the DCA reg unit. They got back to me, so I'm working through some of their comments on the language, drafting the documents, and so hopefully the next time you guys see it, it'll be after the public hearing and final rulemaking. So it's moving forward.
Thank you, Dave. Any comments from the board members? Okay, hearing none. Any moderator, any comments from the public, please?
This is the moderator, and at the direction of the board, I have opened the Q&A panel. If you would like to request public comment, once again, for your reference, being displayed on your screen are instructions to do so. You will be provided 5 minutes and given a 30-second warning. I will now pause momentarily to allow individuals time to access this feature. We have not received any requests for public comment. Would you like me to close this feature?
Yes, moderator, thank you.
You're welcome. Feature's closed.
Okay, Susan, legislative update and possible actions.
Okay.
Susan, can I interrupt real quick? This is Sabina.
Of course.
I received a couple updates on some of these bills. I'm not sure if you have, but I'll interrupt if there's, because there's only about 3 or 4 that are relevant now. I just checked in with everything. I'm not sure if you received it. So if you need me or whatever, let me know.
Sabina, I appreciate that. I actually meant to check again this morning and yesterday, and I totally forgot. So jump in anytime. So the first one is Assembly Bill 29. This bill, if it goes through, would require media materials available to the public. I'm sorry? Did someone say something? Okay. This one would require media materials to be available to the public the same days as available to the board members. Sabina, comment on that one?
Yeah, this is a 2-year bill. It's not moving forward right now, as well as 646 is not moving forward also. And those are the 2 that are 2-year bills that are dead for this year.
That are dead for this year?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much for that. The next one in your board media materials is AB 105. This bill, starting January 1st of 2022, board member appointments would need to be from underrepresented groups, and it identifies those groups. It also has some other language in regards to state employees, civil service employees. Sabina, do you have anything to add on this one?
I don't actually. That was one of them that I saw that was moving forward, and I didn't have any other comments on or any other notes.
Okay, thank you very much. Next one in your board package is Assembly Bill 107. This bill would require issuance of a temporary license to spouses of military members within 30 days. It also identifies that if regulations are needed to accomplish that, draft regulations would have to be identified and submitted by June 15th of 2022. Sabina, comments?
Yes, all my other boards have looked at this as well. The comments that we're seeing over and over again on this bill is that it would require you to register, to create a new license type, which would be a temporary license. And there would be some costs associated with that, of course. Staffing potentially, I don't know how many military licenses you already deal with. It may be totally absorbable for you guys. I know that you would have to create a new license type in the Breeze system if you're on Breeze. And I do know that some other boards are currently working with the author's office to see about either getting exempted from this or other things added in. I know the law and ethics exam was, I believe this is the one that was added in for behavioral sciences. They had concerns about people coming in from out of state and not being aware of California's laws and regulations concerning mental health services. And so there was talk about potentially just making an additional requirement to make sure that they were aware of our laws and regulations. But other than that, that's what other boards are doing.
Okay, it would most likely be very low cost to us. It's very rare that we receive applications currently from veterans. So I don't think this would have much impact on us should it go through. The next one in your board packages is Assembly Bill 225. This bill actually does not apply to the Structural Pest Control Board. It does apply to some of the other programs within Department of Consumer Affairs. Next in your board package is Assembly Bill 646. Spini, you just said that this is the other 2-year bill that's not moving anywhere this year, correct?
Correct.
I'm sorry?
I said correct, sorry.
Oh, okay, I couldn't hear you, sorry.
Sorry.
So this one is apparently not moving through this legislative session. SB 607. So SB 607 is in regards to receiving an application from someone already licensed in another jurisdiction and married to an active duty member in California. We would be waiving those fees associated with that application. That kind of in a nutshell, Sabina?
That's correct. The only notes I have in my notes here about this is that it's in appropriations because there is a fiscal impact as far as I understand.
Okay. Let's see. SB 731. This is another bill that the department is following. This bill, starting July 1, 2022, it would require DOJ to review their records for anyone convicted of a felony after July 1st of 2005 and who had met all conditions, in addition to 4 years have lapsed with no new convictions, and it would require DOJ to automatically remove that conviction from that individual's record. So another bill that we are just following and seeing where it goes from here. Sabine, anything to add?
No, my other boards have been looking at this as well, and I believe they actually I'll have to double check, but I believe there was a support position on this bill. They had looked through it and analyzed it enough that they felt there were enough safeguards in there that it wouldn't affect the board too much.
Okay. That's the end of my legislative update, unless you have questions.
Thank you, Susan. Board members, any comments? Or does anybody want to take any positions on any of this legislation? Okay, hearing none. Moderator, if I can open up for public comment if they wish to comment on this item.
This is the moderator, and at the direction of the board, I have opened the Q&A panel. If you would like to request public comment, for your reference, being displayed on the screen are instructions. You will be provided 5 minutes and given a 30-second warning. With that, I will pause momentarily to allow individuals time to access this feature. At this time, we have not received any requests for public comment. Would you like me to close this feature?
Yes, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Feature's been closed.
Okay, thank you, Susan. I appreciate the update. I'm sorry, Susan?
Oh, I just said I said absolutely. You thanked me. I said great. Thank you.
Thank you. I didn't know if you had another comment there. Okay, thank you. At this time, any future agenda items? Board?
Can we meet in public? Can we all meet together next meeting?
Yes, we believe at the next meeting in October, which should be in Sacramento, we believe that will be in person.
Awesome.
Yeah, that'd be great. Okay.
That being said, Christina Jackson Duran is our contact person for traveling for board members and arranging hotel rooms, things of that nature. So, of course, we'll stay on top of that and then be reaching out to all the board members to make those reservations, etc.
Okay, any from the board members, any further comments here for future agenda items? Okay, hearing none. Moderator, if you would, open it up to the public if they have any future agenda items they'd like to put on the agenda.
This is the moderator. Go ahead. This is the moderator, and at the direction of the board, I have opened the Q&A panel. If you would like to request public comment, for your reference, being displayed on the screen are instructions. You will be provided 5 minutes and given a 30-second warning. With that, I will pause momentarily to allow individuals time to access this feature. At this time, we have not received any requests for public comment. Would you like me to close this feature?
Yes, thank you very much, moderator. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Feature's been closed.
Okay, board members, if you would, go to your calendars. As of right now, October 21st, or excuse me, the October 19th and 20th, we are holding for a board meeting in Sacramento in person. Anyway, so right now we're holding 2. We don't know if we'll need 2 days or not until we see if there's going to be any reinstatement hearings. So is everybody holding those 2 days?
Yes, I've got them blocked off. I will be.
Okay, March, we have 22nd and 23rd as well, 2 days held there. Again, we'll see if there's going to be any petitions for reinstatement hearings, let you know. So really what you need to do is go to your calendar for July of 22. I don't know, at that time, maybe we would be looking at moving the board meeting down south, possibly.
Yes, if at all possible, Curtis, we should have a board meeting down south in July of 2022.
So typically we're holding Tuesdays, Wednesdays, so that would be probably the 19th and 20th. Does that look good for everybody? Board members?
Yes, it looks good for Kyle here.
Okay, thank you, Kyle. Derek?
Yeah, should be okay.
Okay, very good. And Nikki Capatita.
Yes, I'll save the dates for now.
Okay. And typically, Susan, we've been usually holding these out by the Ontario airport, correct? I forget the name of the hotel there, but you would probably
in Claremont.
Claremont, yeah, thank you.
Okay, so yes, July 2022, we'll try to target the hotel there in Claremont that's close to the Ontario airport for you board members that have not met in person yet.
If I could make a request on the March meeting, if it does just end up being one day, if we could do it on that Wednesday, the 23rd instead of the 22nd, I'm just going to be 50-50 on being able to make it on the 22nd.
Hi, Kyle. I was just going to comment that we'll make that note.
12 o'clock.
We'll make that note. Typically, well, I don't know. What we used to do is when we would meet in person, if we had reinstatement hearings, we would do them on the Tuesday, and we would start those reinstatement hearings at 1 o'clock, depending on how many we had. Then if we only had one, as in for today, and it's virtual, so we threw it into the agenda and did the whole agenda on Wednesday. But I will note that Wednesday is the better of the 2 days for you.
Yeah, okay, awesome, thank you. I don't want to be inconvenienced, but.
Can I make a comment?
Thank you.
I was wondering if I could make a comment for the October meeting. This is Nikki.
Yes, please. Yes, Nikki, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going to be in Europe in October. This was a vacation that I had planned during the pandemic, and I fly into LAX on the 19th. So I was wondering if this meeting also could start on the 20th. This way I'd get an opportunity to meet all of you. And as a new member, I would like to meet you all in person. It's just I'd mentioned to Susan that I had this trip to Europe. It's a 12-day trip to Prague, and that I fly back only on, it's been paid for, and I fly back on the 19th to LAX. So just a request if the meeting could start on the 20th, that way I can come directly from LAX down to Sacramento Wednesday evening and Tuesday evening and attend the meeting on Wednesday.
Okay, board members, would you be opposed to holding the 20th and 21st if necessary for 2 days? If not, we'll move. If it's a 1 day, it'd be the 20th. Kyle?
I am fine with that. I already have, I don't know if it was Susan that you had put a strategy meeting on the 21st possibly. So I have those 3 days already blocked off, the 19th, 20th, and 21st.
Kyle, yes, that is correct. We were hoping to we're planning to have Solid, the training unit within the Department of Consumer Affairs, conduct a meeting in regards to our strategic plan for on Thursday, the 21st. Being as the board members would, we hope to already have you in town. Solid, of course, is part of the Department of Consumer Affairs in the Northern Sacramento office location. So they would be coming over to most likely our location on Evergreen to conduct that session in regards to our strategic plan for 2022.
Okay, so Susan, do you think we need to hold 3 days, or can we just still get away with it? We hold the 20th and 21st and then put in that solid meeting.
Well, we hope 20th and 21st. I'm not aware that we have any, Melissa is on the line, but she's not a panelist. I'm not aware that we have any pending currently right now for reinstatements for October. We did have the individual that was calendared for today that then did not get back to us and stop communicating, so we took him off calendar for today. I think it's a little too early to say for sure, but we can try for just the 20th and the 21st.
Okay, if you board members, if you can hold those 2 days, that'd be appreciated. Derek, does that fit your calendar?
Should be okay unless I'm in trial, but obviously I won't know till then.
Okay, very good. Okay, is that good? Everybody okay with those days then?
Thank you, board, for hearing me out. Appreciate it.
Yes, thank you, Nikki. Thank you for bringing that forward. Okay, anything else? Comment? Susan, do you need to comment on anything else, sir?
No, I do not, Curtis. And then thank you, board members, and I appreciate your flexibility and jumping online today when we had a last-minute cancellation to accommodate a very tragic personal situation that arose yesterday with Janet Thrasher. One of her employees, longtime employee, had a massive heart attack yesterday and passed away.
Oh, very sorry to hear that. Give her our condolences if you hear from her. Was not aware of that.
I will. Thank you very much.
Okay. Okay. Any final comments from the board members?
I just wanted
Okay,
to thank Brittany for moderating. Appreciate it, Brittany.
Oh, yes. Thank you, moderator. Appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
Okay. All right, everybody, and thank you to the public for attending. Appreciate it. At this time, I think it's like 12:04. We'll adjourn the Structural Pest Control Board meeting. Thank you very much, everyone.
Nice meeting.